The Resurrection Narrative Part 3. Jesus prays in his humanity and is encouraged by his Spirit. So overcome by the horror of what he was willingly about to experience in the hours to follow, that his sweat was like drops of blood, so his Father sent an angel from heaven to strengthen him. Here is the narrative as it is recorded by the historian Dr. Luke in chapter 22, verses 39 to 46. Jesus went out and made his way as usual to the Mount of Olives, and the disciples followed him. 40. When he reached the place, he told them, "Pray that you may not enter into temptation." Then he withdrew from them about a stone's throw, knelt, and began to pray. Knowing ahead of time what he was about to suffer, yet unable to explain the magnitude of the humility and pain that he was about to endure with his companions, he chose solitary communion with the Father to speak plainly about the pending torment, so he withdrew from the cadre of disciples as he knelt down to pray. Perhaps we can relate to a similar situation many of us have shared or witnessed. How often have you heard a casual acquaintance of a person on the brink of death make an excuse not to visit someone lying on their deathbed by mouthing a bewildered excuse, "I just don't know what to say," and there is truth to that statement, being at a loss for words if we have never experienced what may be going through the mind of the person at death's door. At those moments it is usually best to say nothing. Our physical presence speaks volumes. Companionship and reassurance of faith in our Creator are all the words we need to say. Christ knew that these men of the flesh would not know what to say or how to pray, that the roar of their emotions would probably overtake any comforting value, at least until he could validate his candor by the resurrection. In anticipation of the pending wrath to be received in his physical body, the hour becomes an hour of supreme agony. He knows beforehand what will be entailed as Judas the betrayer leads the soldiers to the abduction, the mortifying degradation of the judgment hall, the mockery of the Pharisee-led group, the desertion of his friends, the defamatory charges of his enemies, all prior to the shame and pain of the cross that would end his physical life on earth, as the wrath of the Father is leveled against sin through Jesus' person and an envelope of darkness that separates him from the Father in the bitterness of human mortality comes upon him. Jesus prays in the agony of his frail humanity, in Luke 22:42 through 46. "Father, if you are willing, take this cup away from me, nevertheless, not my will, but yours, be done." Then an angel from heaven appeared to him, strengthening him. Being in anguish, he prayed more fervently, and his sweat became like drops of blood falling to the ground. When he got up from prayer and came to the disciples, he found them sleeping, exhausted from their grief. 46. "Why are you sleeping?" he asked them. "Get up and pray, so that you won't enter into temptation." HCSB. Picking up the narrative from Matthew 26:42-44, we see that Jesus went twice more to fervently appeal in prayer to the Father. Again, a second time, he went away and prayed, "My Father, if this cannot pass unless I drink it, your will be done." And he came again and found them sleeping because they could not keep their eyes open. After leaving them, he went away again and prayed a third time, saying the same thing once more. It was the human Christ that was suffering, and yet the spiritually strengthened Christ yields to the will of the Father, saying, "Not my will but thy will be done." Prayer is an arrangement in the economy of infinite wisdom and goodness to meet the daily needs of human lives. When a Christian comes to this place through sanctification, we will be fully brought into harmony with God's divine plan for our eternal future, and we will willingly say as Christ did, "Thy will be done." Matthew 26:45-46. Then he came to the disciples and said to them, "Are you still sleeping and resting? Look, the time is near. The Son of Man is being betrayed into the hands of sinners. Get up, let's go. See, my betrayer is near."